All right, your kids are gone. Now what? Hi, I'm Cora Naylor, certified coactive coach and emotion co-practitioner. I hear it all the time from new empty nesters what to do now that the kids are gone. I became a coach to support women through the transition, and so did my guest today, Jody Silverman. Jody Silverman is an author, certified life coach, speaker, and entrepreneur with a 20-year track record of transforming ideas into success. Jody believes that living your daring life, challenging yourself outside of our comfort zones, is the most direct route to fulfillment. She's inspired thousands of women around the country to live their own daring lives through her Moms Who Dare community, In the Nest with Jody, and as a professional speaker. So, welcome, Jody.
Yeah, it's so much fun to be with another empty nest coach.
I know. I'm so glad that we got introduced to each other.
I know. It's great. You know what? When you hang out with great women, you meet other great women.
Yeah, for sure. And even though we have met, I still don't know your whole story. So today, I'd like you to share with us a little bit of your emptiness story because we all have a slightly different version.
We do. It affects all of us differently. Well, I wasn't always a coach, so I'll break it down into small little tidbits. My whole career has been in sales. I started out in corporate America, selling direct mail marketing advertising services for a national company. And then I got married. I started a family. My two kids are 3.5 years apart. So when my youngest turned two, I started really wanting to be. I was done with the whole full time thing, and work was shifting a little bit for me. The company was shifting, and the woman who was helping me while I was working was getting ready to retire. And I'm not doing this again. I want to pick up my youngest from preschool. It's time. I want to be more available, so to speak. So my husband and I put our heads together and we decided I should start my own business. That was my first step into entrepreneurial world, which I really never even thought about that word. But I started my own print brokering business. So I sold commercial printing and it worked out great because I was my own boss. The transition was seamless for a lot of reasons. And I was home. I was working from home and I could run out in the middle of the day and pick up my son from preschool or run over to the elementary school and see my daughter do whatever she needed to do in class. And fast forward, they both end up in high school. Don't know how that happens, right? And
I know.
I had another moment in my life, a life event, nothing awful, nothing horrible, but something that triggered a thought and a question in my mind, and it made me ask myself, as my kids. So my son was a freshman in high school, my daughter was a senior. I saw that there was going to be more time. There was already more time and space because once they get their driver's license, you're pushed off to the side a little bit. But I started to ask myself if when they're gone and all I have left is this business, is that enough? And at first I felt a little really guilty and like shameful, like asking myself such a question because I had a great husband. It wasn't all I had was the business. But putting aside the fact that I had a great husband, great kids, flexibility in my life, as so many women, you know, out there that feel the same way we feel, Cora, there was something inside that just felt like it wasn't being fulfilled. And selling printing wasn't exciting to me anymore. It certainly didn't feel fulfilling. And I just felt like there was this voice inside of me that needed to get out. And then there was just something bigger out there, and I didn't know what it was that was bigger than me that I wanted to be part of. And just by asking that question led me to say, be open minded to a business opportunity I said yes to, which then opened the floodgates to personal and professional growth because it was in the direct sales industry, multi level marketing. And anybody who's ever been in direct sales in any shape or form knows that it's all about personal growth and development if you choose to embrace it. And that personal growth and development opportunity through that business introduced me to coaching. And I got to meet and be coached by life coaches. And I thought, hey, I want to do this. I want to go through the training, thinking it would help me be an even more effective leader within that business. And at that time, I enrolled in coach training, my coach school, which was a 5-day intensive followed by virtual work. My daughter was getting ready to graduate high school. So my oldest was going to leave the nest. And that was going to dramatically change the dynamics of our family. Even though I would still have my son home, there is that loss as one leaves. No matter how many are left, there is a void, an empty space. And I remember vividly, of course, sitting in that room with the other 9 people and everybody going around the room saying what they thought and envisioned their coach practice looking like. And everyone's saying one-on-one clients, I want one-on-one work one-on-one. And I said, I don't want to work. I do want to work one-on-one. Let me take that back. I do work one-on-one. I have, but I knew the bulk of how I was going to work was going to be through community. And I knew it was going to be setting up a community of moms like me, moms who have kids in high school and beyond, so that we can move through that loss that's left as our kids leave and discover the opportunity, because that's what I had been doing at that time for the course of 4 years, is discovering new and fun things. I was stepping out into the discomfort, out of my comfort zone, and facing fears and limiting beliefs and having just so much fun and discovering like who I really was as a woman outside of being a mom, outside of being a salesperson. And it was just, that was my journey. And I became a life coach and started my community, Moms Who Dare. And oh my gosh, it's been almost 8-9 years now. And
Wow.
it's been so rewarding to be surrounded by moms like us. All we're all have a different experience, but we're all the same.
Yeah.
So,
I love how both of us have a bit of a theme, and it's similar but different, because my story is quite similar. And when I got into the coaching, I automatically thought I was going to go into empty nesting because that was where I was at the time of my journey. And my focus is again on the moms, discovering what is it about them. Now is your time. That's kind of my theme,
yeah.
and yours is Moms Who Dare, which I love.
Yeah, and
And
it's funny because
a
when
little bit about how you
oh,
started
sorry.
that.
And what I love about when we were introduced to similarities is if you open up my website, it does say empty nest, now what? And how you started out, because
Yeah.
isn't that what most of the moms you meet end up saying, like, now what?
Yeah.
Like they're growing up, now what? They're a kindergarten, now what? Now they're leaving the nest, now what? Everything is now what? And there's a lot out there afterwards.
Yeah. And I really like to compare it to retiring, especially for men if they can't understand what we're going through.
Ah.
That for a man, being the provider and working all those years, and, they're going to retire and they're going through the same thing, kind of like, now what? So I think a big part with the empty nester is preparing, because for myself, it kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that feeling. And I didn't even know what was happening at first. So, the sooner you can kind of start getting into it, like if your kids are in high school and they are kind of stepping away a little bit, unless you're super involved with sports. My kids
Right.
weren't, but the families that are in that, I mean, that's even more important to start doing something beforehand, because they have these huge community ties.
And it
So
is. We both have that same philosophy that it's never too soon for a mom, never too soon to take time just for you. Find something, whether it's a book club, whether it's just a quiet time to you have tea time by yourself, or have a girls' night out once a month, whatever it is. It's never. I encourage people. I know, as crazy as it seems when your kids are younger, that it's hard to do.
yeah,
But those things that are worthwhile are sometimes the hardest to figure out,
yeah.
and
So
it's
how
worth
did you come up with your theme for the Moms Who Dare? Because it is awesome, and I like what you do. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about some of the activities that you've done with your group.
Yeah, so Moms Who Dare. I mean, the dare came out of. I heard somebody speak, a local journalist, Luann Kahn, speak about a book she wrote, "The I Dare Me," and she's standing on this stage. There's 350 women in the room. I'm sitting there, and it had been about 4 years at this time that I've been stepping out of my comfort zone, and she just kept talking about daring and equating that to the comfort zone, and that word just resonated with me. And the whole premise is that if we can dare to do something new or different. And you can define that any way you want. I use Luann's definition. She says anything you haven't done in 10 years or longer. I say 5 years or longer, but she says 10 years or longer. So find what is something you haven't done in years and do it. And what it does is it helps you leave that headspace, helps you go from inside your head, the loss, the sadness, they're going to leave, they've left. I wonder if her and her roommate are getting along. I wonder if he has somebody to eat lunch with. All those thoughts and worries that we worry about as our kids go off, it removes you from inside there and makes you step outside of yourself. So whether it's, she learned how to do hula hooping again. She did other things like zip lining. It's something we've done, zip lining. We've gone axe throwing. we've had just had simple mom's night out where we just meet up for a happy hour and just hang out and talk. We've gone paddle boarding, which honestly I didn't want to do, but my moms did, so we did it. Be careful what you ask what they want to do. Um, but we've done a lot of different things, and each activity we did an overnight, literally in a town 20 minutes away from all of us, at a really cool hotel, and spent the day at a really different kind of spa, like a Saltability Retreat Center in Skippack. And we did different things, and some of those modalities that we chose to do, the sitting in a salt cave being led through meditation, was uncomfortable for some of them, some of the women, but they did it, and everybody discovered something new about themselves and realize that they can do something new and different. And it helps you break out of being in the internal worry about everything and really discover new things about who you are and maybe who you want to be.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a process because
Oh, yes.
when our kids leave, now we have to kind of treat them differently too, and that's
Yeah.
something I've just been really getting into in the last couple of years, trying
That's
to
so
not be
fun.
the mom, and now to try and be more of a mentor on only giving advice when asked for advice, and that was a tough one for me.
I have,
How do you parent adult kids?
well, I have to tell you,
Kind of are just getting the hang of parenting kids, and now we have to change how we parent the kids.
yep, and I can't believe you just brought that up because I literally wrote a note to myself. I have given a talk on the number one shift we all need to make it, and you call it it's a parenting shift, going
Yeah,
from the fixer to coach. And so
yeah,
I literally just wrote that down. You and I,
I know.
probably on the same page. So, and it is true because you
Yeah,
can't parent your child in college the way you parented that child in high school, and you can't parent the child that graduates college the way you parented the child in college.
yeah,
When they're out in that world, totally adulting it, all on their own, 100%, it shifts even more. And I
yeah,
actually had a harder time with that shift than I had with the college shift.
yeah, yeah. I think so too,
I did.
and
I
I
had a hard time.
and I think once you get past that for yourself, it really frees up your time because
It,
now you can really let go and not have to worry because they're taking responsibility for their own lives now, and so now you
yeah,
have to take responsibility for yours.
it's hard. The whole letting go, and that's going to be on an episode. The whole letting go, it never ends, right? We're always learning how to let go. But what having the community of the moms to dare with is it makes it a little easier to link arms and have people say, come on, you're not doing yourself any good. We're not doing our kids any service sitting at home crying. What do we do? They don't want to know you're home unhappy. They're out there doing what you raised them to do. They're experiencing new things, meeting new people, having fun. Let's do the same thing.
Yeah, and I mean, as soon as you have a baby, they're gonna leave one day.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, it should
you
really be
know it, but you don't know it.
prepared, right?
You
It
know it,
shouldn't
but
be
you're
a
never
surprise.
really prepared for that day.
I know, I know, but it shouldn't be a surprise, right?
I know. I
Don't
think what
know.
surprises most moms is how deeply affected they are by it.
Well, and that's the thing, and you don't know how you're gonna feel until it happens. So you
Yeah.
can try your best to prepare for it, but some people are fine and they're just like, "Yeah, great. I can't wait for them to go." And some people, it's a little bit harder.
It
So I
is.
think acknowledging it and kind of preparing for it can help with it.
Yeah, it's true. And yeah, you have to acknowledge, prepare, and be. I had a friend once tell me that when her one daughter was leaving, she was going to sit on the floor and look at old photos and just cry for a
Yeah.
long time. And she had a younger one home. I go, no, I don't think that's going to work very well for the younger one, and I don't think it's going to work very well for us as friends. I'm not letting you do that. I'm all for having our pity party. I came home right behind me. Full disclosure, my husband took over my office due to the stay at home
Yeah.
work from home.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I moved up to my 25-year-old daughter's bedroom because she's no longer here.
Yeah.
But I came up to this very room when she's 25 now, when she went to college, and I sat down on her bed and I cried. And I looked around the room, I cried. But then and I cried, but not a sob. And then I realized, wow, like look where she is. Look what I did. Look what I did. You
Mhm.
can take credit. We could take credit. This is what we did. And I was sad and there was a loss. It was my daughter, My son was not about to go get manicures and pedis with me. He didn't want to.
Yeah.
But that's why you need either an empty nest coach or a community of like-minded moms like you, like you're building, like I've built, so that we can all talk and connect and share our experiences. Because I mean, you and I have talked about like how you felt, and we're going to be talking about that later too. That you know, the emotions hit me differently than they hit my friends. And some people actually said, "Aren't you sad that you're?" They're like, "You got over it so fast. You're not even sad."
Yeah.
How do they know I'm not sad?
I know.
I'm sad because
And that's the thing, is setting some limits on it too, because it's kind of like a roller coaster, right? Some days you're up and some days you're down. It's just
yeah,
not living in the down,
yeah, right. It's not.
right? Give yourself a limit how long you're going to stay there, and then it's time to move on.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm gonna let you take over my whole community because you talk just like I talk. I'm like, I love this because I say you can have your pity party, just don't stay there too long.
Yeah. Yeah, like, it's okay. Like, you have to feel your emotions, or else you can run
Oh,
into problems if you
oh,
don't.
absolutely, absolutely. Let them
Yeah.
in, and don't be scared of them. It's okay to cry and sob, but make a decision that you don't want to stay. That I don't want to feel that sadness. Then I'm missing out on life,
Yeah.
and you're missing out on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So just as we're wrapping up, do you have like just one tip? Is that your tip, or do you have something else you want to share with people about one thing about becoming an empty nester?
I mean, I would just say, acknowledge that you did exactly what you were supposed to do, raise them, your son or daughter, to go out in the world and trust that you gave them the foundational tools that they need to navigate the life that they're now going out to live. And they will fall, but they will call you when they're ready. Let them fall a little bit, but trust that you did teach them what they need to do to launch.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. So for you, anybody that's listening to us today, if you want to, get in touch with Jody or learn more about her and her story and what she does, her website's running along the bottom here. I've also got my website on there. And if you want to join my Empty Nest group, just comment with a yes below and I'll get you added in our group. And that way you'll know what other interviews we've got coming up, because I've got a good lineup coming with other interesting ladies to help us out while we go through this journey. So thanks again for joining me today, Jody, and
Oh,
we'll see
Cora, I'm
everybody.
so happy I met you. Thanks for having
Yeah,
me.
thank you.